Welcome to Colonie TV, the governmental educational channel for the town of Colonie.
Hi, I'm Supervisor Paula Mahan, and welcome to Colonie Connect. Today, my special guest is Chief Steven Heider of our police department.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Steve?
Very good.
There's an awful lot going on in town around here, so it's always busy.
We never quite get slow.
Never, not in your position.
No.
And you have just received a very special recognition, special position. And I think if we could start off with that, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your new position as President of the New York State Police Chiefs Association. Big title.
Sounds pretty official.
Big title.
It's an honor. You know, it's something you work through the chairs. I started with the organization almost 15 years ago. When I became chief 10 years ago, I became more involved, serving on a number of different committees as I went along. And then this past July, rose to the presidency, which is a one-year appointment. It's something I like to say, well, I'm down to about 11 more months to go.
Well, I certainly want to say that it's an honor for you, but it's an honor for the town of Colonie.
Well, you know, I stand, in a position where being only the 5th chief in the town's history, and Jim Flater before me and John Grieber before me also were both presidents also. And we've always been very involved, just like the town is involved in a lot of things, much more so than other towns or cities can be. We are at the forefront, and it's something that we take great pride in, being really involved members of the organization that brings a lot of good things to not just chiefs across the state, but to police departments in towns and cities across the state. And that's what makes it so special. Well,
I was very honored to attend the ceremony and see you receive that new position, and actually had the opportunity to swear you into that new position. So again, I was very honored for our town, and I know that you'll do an excellent job. So. Well,
I look forward to doing it. Since it's happened, it's already been very busy. It's one of those things where, as you know, with all the mandates that we're under now as a town, as a police department, there's a lot to be done when we look at the supervisory ranks, what we have to do to make sure that we're providing the best service to you as a supervisor, to the citizens. There's a lot to be done. And this position just brings it all to the forefront. Even things that I didn't know, I'm learning as I go, and it's an important thing.
Well, I know being at the ceremony, there were representatives from all over the state, and our town of Colonie Police Department is really very, very appreciated, very well accomplished and recognized by all of these departments. And so we're very proud of your accomplishments and all the accomplishments everyone in our department has made. So, once again, it is truly a very big honor. So we're very proud that you were able to receive that.
And I appreciate the time to be able to do it. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's a lot of phone work.
Yes.
Nowadays with the computers, with email, you can do an awful lot of things that way. But it's working with educating a lot of people in what needs to be done in the police business and what needs to be done right. And that's what we stand for.
Well, the education is a major part of it, updating on, as you say, lots of mandates, new ways of doing things that we can protect our communities better. And this is information through this organization that you can share with everyone, and we get the benefits from that as well. We are highly regarded, but there are always new things to learn.
Well, and that's one thing we've learned as an association. We provide what we feel is the best training that supervisory people within police organizations can go to. And it's very important because with all the cutbacks at the state level, the state isn't providing all those training opportunities they once did 10, 15, 20 years ago. So just like that, where we had that ceremony where I was inducted, that was also a training week. And it was people from around the country that the association brings in to make sure that we're not standing alone here, whether it be in the town or in the state, and that we bring the message, as you said, we bring the message to the chiefs so they can bring it back to their departments, and it's very important.
Oh, that's great. And, we have the same feeling that public safety is one of our top priorities in town. If you if you don't have a safe town, it makes things extremely difficult from many different angles. And so having a safe town is a top priority for us. And so we work very, very hard with our budgets to maintain the positions, the number of positions that we need, the promotions when they need to be made. It isn't easy, but it's all about prioritizing and the value of placing our resources where we feel they're most needed, and certainly public safety is at the top of our list.
Yeah, and we try to provide the best value as a department in terms of how we deploy our people, how we prepare and produce our resources, how we acquire things, working very closely with your office, with the town controller, the town attorney's office, because we know, it's nice to be able to say we have a tremendous public safety effort. We also know it's a very expensive effort to pursue. And we know how valuable that is to the town, to town government, to the town citizens. And it makes it a challenge, but it's a challenge we welcome. And that we like to say that we're able to provide the services we do, but at a good value to the citizens, and that's what's important to us.
Well, it's like a lot of other fields. You keep raising the bar because you've got to meet all of those new standards. And in your line of work, it's society that keeps raising that bar because it is a changing society. The challenges are different.
Yep.
There are always challenges. They never stop. But the nature of them has changed, and it will continue to change as time goes on. And being able to adapt to those changes, of meeting those needs of those changes. It's not an easy task to constantly keep up with that, but we do a great job of that. We've been maintaining in the top 10 safest towns in the nation. Now, we were very fortunate a couple years to be named number 1.
That was nice.
But being in that top 10 is a huge accomplishment. And to be able to maintain that over a number of years is an even bigger accomplishment.
And it's something we strive for, although we know we're not in a contest. We're in a people business. There's a lot of things in our community. We got to remember our community isn't just a town. It's the greater capital district, and we are the center of that mass. We are the retail mecca, so to speak, of that mass. A lot of the commercial buildings and the offices are in our town. So we know we're surrounded by 3 cities that also have their challenges. If you look at the people that we deal with every day, it's a very diverse crowd. And the type of crimes we deal with are very diverse too. And we feel that we've done a good job of changing with the times, keeping up with technology the best way we can. And as you know, technology is very expensive. And to keep up with that is expensive on our behalf. But we're also fortunate that if you look at our town, the state police are headquartered in our town, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the immigration officers are here, the FBI is right around the corner down in Albany, and that helps us because along with the Albany County Sheriffs who are in our town, it just adds to that safe response in our town, and we take great pride in that.
Well, I know that you work collaboratively with all these agencies, and we hear from them continually, and that's what has to happen is everyone pooling their resources together, helping one another. The results are just that much better. And we're certainly very, very fortunate that the state police decided to keep their headquarters in the town of Colonie, and their new headquarters on Route 7 is beautiful.
And even though they don't spend that much time actually patrolling the town, you still see their cars, and visibility is the biggest deterrent that we can afford.
Yes.
We know how many people we have on the street every day. Just having those extra state police cars that are traversing back and forth between their building and in the interstate or to the headquarters in Albany. The Albany County Sheriffs with their contingent at the airport. We have a pretty visible police presence in the town, and that serves as a tremendous deterrent, and that's very important for us.
Yeah, it's all about visibility, proximity,
Yep.
and time, being able to get there as quickly as possible, as safely as possible. So these are all things that our officers are faced with on a day-to-day basis. We're not unlike any other community in the country. We are unique that we are located in the middle of 3 major cities, the capital city, being a real draw for people. And we are also we have, as you say, a very diverse population. Our town is a suburban town, but we have urban centers. We still have rural areas, and then we have your typical suburban areas. So you have a combination of so many different things. And we're not immune to crime. We
No.
try to do our best to deter it and to fight it and do what we need to do. But I know maybe you could give our audience some safety tips to keep strangers away from our home, to reduce the chances of having robberies or burglaries, things like that. We have our share. We have to deal with it, and we deal with it to the best of our ability. But maybe you can give some safety tips to help some of our audience.
Well, it's surprising. Crime has not changed all that much in the almost 40 years that I've been involved with the business. It's still people business. It's an interaction between people or between people and property. So the tips that we give today aren't that much different from what we talked about in the 70s. I mean, when it comes to ID theft and the computer type crimes that we're talking about, that's a little difference with the technology. But even with that, to make sure your kids are on the proper communication channels, so to speak, to make sure that you monitor what people are doing on computers, to monitor your credit cards, to monitor your identification. And those are new things that we talk about. Well, when you talk about your house, you talk about your vehicle, it's making sure it's locked. A lot of our crime involving vehicles happens in neighborhoods where people don't lock their cars. Right. And the criminals, they're not breaking into cars, they're just opening the doors.
Right.
Now, it's one thing that you leave your car unlocked, but it's amazing what people are leaving in their cars. We have passports, pocketbooks, wallets, telephones, computers, laptops, nooks, you name it. We've had that stolen out of vehicles that were not broken into. So we ask people to make sure that they lock their vehicles and just take those simple steps around your house when you go out to leave some lights on. To make sure that you make the place look to live in, even if you're on vacation. Today, it's 40 years ago, timers were expensive. Today, you can buy all kinds of timers for your lights. Matter of fact, there's some people I know that have whole house electronic systems that they can control from Aruba if they want to, in turning different lights on and off, even leaving the TV on and off during the course of the evening. It's all simple, common sense things. But the one thing that we're most concerned with, especially now we're getting into the fall, we get close to the holidays, people need to be alert to where they are and what's going on around them. As far as, are there strange cars in their neighborhood? Is somebody walking down the street that doesn't belong in the street? As you're walking out from the store to your car in a parking lot, do you have your keys in your hand? Do you see something nearby your car that doesn't look right? Make sure you always leave yourself an exit. You can always walk back in the store and call the police. And that's the other issue. If you are suspicious of something, we don't mind you calling us. As you know, we're a 24-hour operation. It doesn't cost us any more to have that officer respond to your house, and we want people to do it because what makes us a safe community is the people that live in our community, that travel and work here, that observe things and call us. And that's what sets us apart from an awful lot of agencies. It's the cooperation we get from our citizens.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, it's a great resource because you have so many people that are everywhere in town. And, taking that step, not to be too complacent, not to get too comfortable, taking that extra step to be vigilant and look around, see what's around you, be safe. We don't want to be paranoid, but we just want, those old-fashioned tips that we learned when we were kids on how to be safe. When you're going to your car, it's tempting to pick up the phone and text and do all these things as you're walking to your car or whatever, but you've got to pay attention to your surroundings.
We try to tell people just to be alert. Whether it's in their home, their car, in their office, even walk to the car. How many times do you see now on TV, on YouTube or something, they show that funny spoof of somebody walking along the sidewalk and walking into a telephone pole? Put the phone down for a minute. When you're pulling into your driveway, you're pulling into a parking spot at the shopping center, when you're leaving your office at night to go to your car, take that moment to put the phone down, put everything else aside, take 10 seconds to, like you said, not be paranoid, but just look around. Make sure that where you're going to is safe and that once you get there, you can move on from there.
It's common sense.
It's common sense.
It's common sense. And most of the time, people, it's not that they don't want to do that, it's just their attention is going in 50 different directions because that's what our society is. We're always multitasking, doing so many things at one time, but it is important to take that step back and say, hey, it's important to be safe. It's important to know what's around us. And again, we can't stress enough, if you see something that's out of the ordinary or something you're uncomfortable with, you know, that's why you call the police, and you make sure that it's okay. And you know, it just helps. And all those sets of eyes that are out there watching and being safe, they can give us a lot of information that's very helpful.
If you look at most of our crimes that we solve, it's very rare. It's a great feeling when you're a patrol officer and you catch a crime in progress. You can stop the crime, catch the bad person, and go home that night and say, wow, look what I did. But most of the time, that's not how we solve crime.
Right.
Most of the time, we solve crime because of a witness, or because the person's the victim, or because somebody just happened to be driving by, saw something, made a note of it, and then called the police later. And that's why we stress to people to, you know, to take a little time in your lives to be undistracted. Take a look around and see. Be surprised what you see.
Yeah. Well, you know, it looks so easy on TV. You know, when the police are after somebody, or in a movie theater or whatever, but that's TV and that's movies. You know, this is real life, and it's very different.
And the reality of it is, we need citizens to help us solve crime. So we need people to take a look up at once in a while. We need people to make sure that they're aware of their surroundings. And you know what? When you see something that doesn't look right, write it down and call us.
Yeah. And these are all the things we have been able to keep our programs going for the community. And one of the programs that we've maintained is the Civilian Police Academy.
Yep.
And a lot of the things that you're talking about, you know, these are people that that attend the sessions, and they get a real life look at what it is to be a police officer in the town of Colonie. And it's a real educational experience for people. And that is a program that we see as valuable. When we have enough people to sign up, we hold the program. And it's sometimes hard budget-wise, but it's a valuable program. And so I'm hoping we can, you know, keep people interested in that, because I think there's a lot of value to it.
You know, it's a great 9 weeks, you know, 3 hours a week for 9 weeks. People come in, they're a little apprehensive, they don't, you know, they're not quite sure. You know, the average citizen has never stepped foot into a police department, does not know what to expect whatsoever. The average citizen never calls a police department.
It's a good thing.
So, and it's a good thing, but now when they walk into our department and they see that there's actually real jail cells in the police department, and they actually see people walking down the hall with handcuffs on, it makes them a little apprehensive. But as they go through the 9 weeks, it's truly an educational experience. And we've had people in that program from 18 to 81. And every single one of them leaves with a whole new idea, not about our police department, but about police work in general. And it's how so much different it is from TV in some respects, but how it's a lot like TV in some respects. You know, I've been doing this a long time. Your husband Joe did it for years. He's retired from our department, and it's an excitement that, well, not a lot of jobs have the same amount of excitement.
Right.
And that's all I can say. And it's great to see people see it from the outside. And that's just one of the programs that we are so happy that we can still continue to provide.
And it is, you know, it is an exciting career. And the more we can educate people so they understand what it's about, the better it is for all of us. And it's a very challenging career as well, as we see. And, you know, we always pray for our officers' safety. They're out there 24/7, and they're the first people on the scene, and it's not always easy. So
no, you know, it's not, and we preach that safety, and everything we do as a town, as far as training, as far as what the tools that we provide our people, is geared towards their safety. Because, you know, it is every year across the country, almost 150 police officers lose their lives, and scores more are injured in the line of duty. And it's things that we try to provide with them, with the training that they do, so that they're prepared in the event of something. But as we know, it's still dangerous even here in the town. It's no different from the other cities and other parts of the state around us. The use of guns is tremendously involved in a lot of crimes. You know, there's an eye towards violence with some people, and we do our best to make sure we stop that.
well, you know, we talk about Civilian Police Academy as one of our programs, but we have been one of the municipalities that have made it a priority to maintain our programs for our youth. You know, being a longtime educator, I see a lot of value in that, because you're actually building a foundation about information that our kids would never receive if we didn't have that relationship with our school districts and our students and the programs that we provide. Again, it hasn't been easy because of budgeting and things like that, but it's really important to be able to try to, at least to be able to provide these programs, and we've been successful with that. We have different youth programs. We have the youth court. We have the Explorer program. We still maintain the DARE program. We have resource officers. There are different types of programs like that for our youth, youth court, things like this that are you don't see in a lot of other communities.
We are one of the only departments in the Capital District that still provides such a comprehensive, not just programs, but outlook into our youth and our community. We try to involve them whenever we can. When you look at Youth Court and the Explorers program, that's bringing them in to actively be involved with our programs. You look at the way we are in schools now, from nursery school to college level. You know, Siena plays a big part in our community. We have people at Siena throughout the year providing programming over there. We don't just stop. When we developed the DARE program in 1992, where a lot of departments have done away with it, we actually expanded it to the junior high and the high school. We take that message throughout the year, but we also have expanded that message to talk about young people and their civic responsibilities and their responsibilities to their families, their community. So, you know, it's one thing I take great pride in, because across the state, we are probably the leader in our youth services and what we do for the youth in this community. And it shows. Our juvenile crime has gone down every year for the last 10 to 12 years. And that's something I think is a great credit to what we're able to provide.
And I know our staff that when they work with the youth program, I've seen it firsthand, the DARE program in school. It's not the DARE program of years ago. It teaches the same lessons, but it's also, again, it has raised the bar. And a lot of the lessons that the children are working on, the projects they're working on, there's that collaborative effort between our officers and the teachers are looking at the new standards and meeting those standards. So they incorporate the skills that the kids need to learn, reading, writing, strategies, whatever, working together as a team, whatever it might be. They incorporate that into opportunities to work with the DARE program on the projects that they work on. So it's a responsibility on the part of the children as well. Yep. They've got to do the work, to work together as a group. And I've heard many kids over the years working in at the junior high school level, many kids that know our officers, respect them, and really learned a lot from them, and really valued that experience, along with the parents as well.
And that goes so far in that community bond, where if something does go wrong, that we have the resources there to tap into. You know, our officers are on first-name basis with principals and the superintendents and assistant superintendents, and the communication level between my office and their office does not happen in a lot of other towns and cities. And we chalk that up to the DARE program and to all the other programs that we're able to work with all these teachers and all these administrators. And it's all for the common goal. And we're able to blend it all together. We've changed it as we went. We don't do the same thing we did 20 years ago. We think that's what sets us apart as a town, as a police department, and we're going to continue to do that type of work.
And we talked about seniors, and we talked about people from all ages participating in the program, our youth. And today we just had another new advance. We recently completed some work at our municipal training facility on Wade Road, which is where our firefighters get their training, our EMS gets training, and our police officers can train there as well. And we have recently completed the addition of a couple of houses over there that have natural settings for all of our agencies to really go in and get training that's beyond any training we can get around here. And we've completed a new burn room for our firefighters to practice and train. This week, the FASNY conference is here with firefighters from all over the state. They're here and bringing young people, again, bringing the youth into it for training for them at our facility. So we we have to look at all the programs we do, everything that your department is involved with, and all of our emergency responders. It goes out in so many different directions, and again, it's that collaboration between the agencies, between the departments, between the school districts and the different populations. You can't just be in a corner and just do your thing, and can't have everybody else involved in it, because it's a whole community effort.
Correct.
And I think that's one of the things that has made us so successful, is being a community police department, as well as providing the proper training. And as I said, we just recently opened our state-of-the-art updated training facility, which is going to be good for all agencies around.
Well, I think as DA Soares said this morning, we set the standard. And I think Colonie is known for that, and is known throughout the state for that, not just in police, but in EMS and the fire service, our school districts, and it is the total package that make us the safe community that we are.
Well, I know your favorite topic is your participation. You're a member of our budget committee.
That is one of my favorite
And
topics.
that is one of your favorite topics. We spend a lot of time on budget, from around the end of May until October-ish.
Yep.
November, finalizing things. You've been an excellent participant in that committee since we started it back in 2008. And you see firsthand how we have to prioritize our funds. We're doing well, but we've got to remain conservative and keep progressing, building our fund balance, doing those types of things. And it is a real delicate balance between the new mandates that our police department has to meet, or whether it's EMS or any of the agencies, as well as balancing it with retirement benefits increasing, health benefits increasing, keeping these types of programs going, and building a fund balance while we're doing all of this. But, it is a process. It's a long-term process, and you've been an excellent participant in that program, and I hope that you will continue to be a member. I think that, you see firsthand how the whole process works and what it's all about. And I'm happy, I'm confident as we move forward that we will be able to keep public safety as the major priority, because it is the foundation for everything else. And as I said, it's never easy. It's a delicate process. We do have to maintain our conservative approach, but with everyone working together, we get a lot done.
We do, and the budget committee has been a true learning experience, because it's easy as a department head to only think that you're the only department, and that has truly turned my head 360 degrees in knowing just how much this town has to offer, and not just the police department. And I love public safety, and I know that how supportive the town is, but there are other priorities in the town. Everybody needs a piece of that pie, and how we all have to work closely together to make it happen. But it's been a true pleasure to watch it move the way it's moved, and to come back from the abyss, so to speak, and to be where we are now, and to be on that committee and be a part of it. It's been a truly honor to do it. It's been
great.
a pleasure.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I thank you for the work that you've done there over the last 6 years. And I would like to also thank all the members of the police department. They certainly do a fine job. They make us proud every day, and I know the tough jobs that they have.
They work hard.
So I truly appreciate the great work that they do for our town. And I think we covered just about everything we can cover in this half hour. So I want to thank you very much for being here today.
It's a pleasure.
And giving everybody an update on our police department. And once again, congratulations on your new position as president of the New York State Police Chiefs Association.
Thank you very much.
It's a great accomplishment. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for tuning in to Colonie Connect.